Alright, cat lovers, I hope you're all having a great day. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, an extension of our Twitch channel over at twitch.tv/VellnerXI. Glad to have you back, and as you can see, we're in Odyssey again, because it's really the content to be doing, and we got a big one today. Kalunga Vengeance 25, dead. We got a kill video for you. I'm remiss to call it a guide video necessarily, because at the end of the day, these fights, they have a lot of RNG involved, so there's a lot of strategies to tackle it. But I'll tell you the biggest secret, and you're not going to hear this in most guide videos. The biggest secret of all is to just keep fighting, and hopefully the stars align for you on that run, and you get the kill, because there's a lot of ways even the best strategy could fail. But that's okay. We're going to show you what finally worked for us. So let's jump on into it. So here we are in Kalunga's chamber. The group composition that we settled on to finally get the win is Paladin, Dark Knight, Corsair, Bard, Geomancer, and White Mage. For your buffs, on Corsair you'll do your standard Crooked Card, Chaos roll, and a Samurai's roll. For the Bard you're going to do Honor March, Adventurer's Dirge for everybody but the tank, 2 times Minuets, and a Fire Carol. Just do the Dirge on everybody and then overwrite the tank's Dirge with Faux Servente. And this is very important because Kalunga has a full Dispel move called Volcanic Stasis, and if he turns around and hits the party with that's probably going to be a loss, so you need to avoid that at all costs. If he happens to turn, have everybody stop damaging him until he turns back to the tank. That didn't seem to be an issue for us, but just in case, be aware of that. The White Mage is going to do Bar Fire, Bar Amnesia, and they're going to be in charge of keeping haste on everybody that's in the party. For the Geo Bubbles, we used Geo Fury, Indie Barrier, and an Entrusted Haste on the tank. And the reason we entrusted haste on the tank is because the tank is going to be involved in the skill chain for proccing Kalunga, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And you're going to be getting dispelled, so you're going to need that haste to keep being able to TP and use your atonements. One big thing that we learned after doing this fight, this was our 23rd attempt here that you're watching, is how important positioning is on this fight. And watch where we pull him. I'm going to go in and pull him, hit him with flash, and this spot where we take him made such a big difference. Our DPS was so much higher over here because we were, everybody in the party was in a spot where they could not get moved by knockback at all. They never left melee range. They were always swinging at him. And B, they were just far enough that when Kalunga used his fetters, they weren't taking damage back there from the Zisaru. Another hot tip, watch where the Geomancer places the initial Fury Bubble. He's using Blaze of Glory, Ecliptic Attrition, and he's using Widened Compass. See, it's over there to the left. It was right behind the picture you saw go out. With Widened Compass, you have a 12 Yalm radius on that bubble. Over there, it's not taking as much damage, so it's going to stay alive a lot longer. And with Ecliptic Attrition and Blaze of Glory, it's damn near as potent as Bolster, and it's going to stay alive, so we put it over there. But once he's in position, look at this, it's beautiful. The whole party's right back there. That's part of why we have the barrier, Indie Barrier as well, because the whole party's going to get a benefit from it. They're all back there, safe and cozy. No worries at all. And you just start getting at it. You start beating on him. Let's talk about real quick too his proccing mechanism. So Kalunga, if he uses his move called Blistering Roar, he gets his aura and he can start popping those fetters. It's very important before the fight to have a set up skill chain to proc him. You have to multi-step him. The first time is 3 steps, the second time is 4, the third time is 5 steps. Hope to God you don't get a 4th. I've never seen a 4th, so. For us, we used 5 steps that we had pre-planned, with each player doing a different step. So our skill chain was Savage Blade, Herculean Slash, Savage Blade, Atonement, Savage Blade. We made sure each player was only responsible for 1 step. Oh, and here it goes. We're going to do our first one. Because, he uses that shell move where he has Stone Skin, and it can be hard to get your TP fast enough while you're dealing with all of this. So it's good to have each person responsible for one. They can have their TP ready, and you can get him procced. All right, there's the first ad. Our strategy for the ads was to we just didn't deal with them. You can try to hit some debuffs on them, maybe get Carnage Elegy on them to slow them down. And it's a gamble. I'll tell you this, it's a gamble. They'll probably only TP move once or twice throughout the whole fight. And they have a full Dispel move as well called Debilitating Spout. And if they choose that, the fight is over, unfortunately. But there wasn't much else we could do to deal with the ad, so this is how we dealt with it. And that's it, you just keep beating on them. It's really not, I mean, it is really bad, but once it gets going, it just feels so good. Another big thing about this win, and it's what's kind of frustrating about these fights, we partially won because he never used Lahar. Lahar is the move that applies weakness, and that weakness can last about 30 seconds, and it does a lot of fire damage, so there's a good chance it could kill somebody when he does it. And it basically arrests all DPS for about 30 seconds. So that, I mean, that's just so frustrating about these fights, but that's just how they're designed. We got to deal with it. You also have to deal with the random auras. We got magic attack down right now, which doesn't do anything in this fight. But for 40%, we got actual attack down, which could have been the end, but we were able to overcome it. Now, if you don't know, at 40%, he's going to call a second turtle. And the thing that's annoying about these turtles is when they're out, he gets a regen effect. And when 2 turtles are out, it's even more potent. So what we do is we save our 2 hours for under 40%. So at 40%, Orin's the Geo, he's gonna use Bolster. Get a Bolstered Fury going. The Dark Knight's gonna use Soul Enslavement. And we're gonna hit him as hard as we can. Then we'll do a wild card and hopefully get that stuff back. We did not get a reset here, so it's not 100% necessary, but boy, it helps. But that doesn't happen until 40%. Another huge tip, I learned this the hard way. On Paladin, which is funny, I actually liked Rune Fencer better on V20, but on V25, I liked Paladin a lot better. Typically when I cast Phalanx, I switch my shield off to the Obero shield, and if you do that on Kalunga, you take that Aegis off for even a second, he's going to kill you. The first run I did Paladin, I got one-shotted, and it was while I was casting Phalanx. And you're going to be casting Phalanx a lot because he dispels like crazy. Alright, there's our second ad. Now he's got the super potent regen, so here's where we're going to 2-hour. To get as much muscle to overcome that regen as we can. And just keep on keeping on. Another hot tip that I forgot to mention, the Bard is actually using Fast Blade as part of our weapon skills. The thing is with the tier 3s, or all the V25s as a matter of fact, they have this weapon skill wall that if you use consecutive weapon skills, the same one, consecutively, it gets less and less effective. The way to overcome that is to have different weapon skills interrupting the consecutive. So, you know, obviously Dark Knight's doing Torque Cleaver, that's the most damage. You want to try to avoid having 2 Torque Cleavers back to back. Savage Blade, Corsair's going to be doing Savage Blade, right? That's going to be big damage, and you want to avoid having Savage Blades back to back. Now, a Bard's best damage in this situation would be Savage Blade, but with less weapon skill variety, you're going to be dealing with that weapon skill wall more. So instead of the Bard doing Savage Blade, it's actually doing Fast Blade, just to give us more variety. Paladin helps with that as well, because you're going to be spamming Atonement for Enmity anyway, but you're not going to be TPing nearly as fast as the Bard or the other jobs, so just keep that in mind. That weapon skill wall can be a big deal, and mixing it up with what might be a lesser weapon skill can actually boost your DPS by interrupting the weapon skill wall. This is where it gets scary. Under 25%, he's going to TP a lot more. And look at this. We never got Lahar, but we do have attack down aura, so that sucks. But, so even this wasn't a perfect run, so to speak, in terms of the stars aligning to get the perfect setup, but it's working. And like I said, this is our 23rd run. We tried so many different setups to deal with this fight. We tried one with 2 tanks, where a Paladin... I was on Paladin and I would pull the turtles away. we couldn't get enough damage to make that work, and you could still get, you know, Lahar was still screwing us. We were getting one-shotted a lot with that setup. And the big thing, we tried Dark Knight and Warrior, double DDs. Again, we had trouble with people getting one-shotted. We finally settled it on this setup. Go with the 1 DD, and part of these V25s, when you're doing them, it's going to be figuring out that right balance of defense and offense. And if you are getting one-shotted, well, your defense isn't right, so you have to keep, you have to adjust. You might have to change a song to an extra defense song, something to keep yourself like, because as long as you're getting one-shotted, you're probably not going to win the fights. That's what I've been learning since we've been doing these. Once you find that right balance, it's then where you're not getting one-shotted. You just keep at it until you get the win. Yeah, I feel like the biggest thing on this particular go, number one was no Lahars, and this positioning was absolutely amazing. We went from timing out, and look at this, 4 minutes 47 seconds, 5% HP left. He's almost there. It does get a little scary here in the end, though. This fucking dinosaur. 1%. It's like, oh, we almost got him. This is easy. We're gonna win. Oh, blistering roar. Look at that. Look at that. I have terror for like 13 seconds. Can't do anything. He's just beating on me. Watch this. The longest 1% in the history of Final Fantasy XI. Oh, he's dead. Fucking hell! Yes! Yes! Oh my god! Oh my god, thank you guys. We fucking did it. Holy. Ah. Ayo! Oh. Fucking finally. So there you go, V25 Kalunga downed, and this fight kind of sucked. Like I said, that was our 23rd attempt to finally get him down. There's a lot of RNG involved. Some fights before this, we got Lahar as many as 6 times. That's the weakness-inducing move. We got it none on the winning run, so that was nice. The biggest things that I learned from this fight that helped, number one was the positioning. The positioning we used was ideal. We tried positioning in all kinds of other spots, and this was the best one. The thing is, you want to minimize knockback, and you want your DDs to be far enough away to not get hit by the fetters. This spot did both, and it did them perfectly. So if you can, try to get your Kalunga position where we were fighting him. The other big thing that I thought was helpful was breaking up the Weaponskill Wall, being cognizant of that Weaponskill Wall. So the Bard using the Fast Blade was a huge benefit to make sure those Savage Blades and the Torque Cleavers were hitting as hard as they possibly can. And the third big thing is to just be persistent. These fights have so much RNG, you might end up doing them 15, 20 times, but as long as you know you have the strategy and you have the jobs and you have the strength to kill them, eventually you'll get that run where you get that wildcard reset, or you don't get attacked down or twice, or he doesn't Lahar very often, or whatever. And just keep getting at it, and you'll get it, and you'll have your R30 Secpatus. If this was helpful, I'm happy for that. We're on Twitch 6 days a week, Sunday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, twitch.tv/ValorXI. Come on over and join us. Otherwise, have a great day. Later, Calibers.